Hello, our Desi NRIs. In this video, we'll be breaking down the process of transferring funds from an NRE or an overseas account to an NRO account. What that basically means is that if you want to send your hard-earned money from abroad to your home country, India, then how can you do that? Let's quickly look at what we're going to cover in this video. We'll be dividing this video into 3 chapters. First, we'll talk about an overview of the NRE and NRO accounts. Second, we'll also understand how we can transfer money from an overseas bank account to an Indian NRE or an NRO account. Third, we'll also look into the transfer from an NRE to an NRO account or a resident Indian savings account. So number 1, getting an overview of the NRE and NRO accounts. Before we dive into fund transfer between accounts, let's just understand what NRO and NRE accounts actually are. So, first off, what sort of a person qualifies as an NRI as per FEMA law? Once a person moves to stay in another country indefinitely, he or she is classified as a non-resident Indian or NRI, and this is subject to the limitation of stay in India as provided therein. For that, your bank will redesignate your account as an NRO or a non-resident ordinary account. Apart from that, a fresh NRO account can also be opened after you become an NRI during your visit to India. Whatever you earn abroad or in India, you can deposit all of that in an NRO account. These funds are generally used to meet your expenses or payments in India. Now let's move on to the NRE account. What is that? This account is maintained in Indian rupees. With this, you can transfer the funds coming from abroad. Money comes through the form of remittance from abroad. And you know what? Unfortunately, there's no way you can directly collect your Indian income like rent or dividends in this account. So in short, we can say that NRE is to store foreign earnings and an NRO is to store Indian income. Let's differentiate between these two accounts on 3 more important bases. First up is taxation. You know, it's a critical element, right? With NRE accounts, you're in the tax-free zone. Yup, you don't have to pay any tax on the interest earned from this account or other incomes received into this account. Now, coming to the NRO account. Everything that goes into it, including the interest you earn on your deposits, is considered income in India and it is taxed. And TDS, that's tax deducted at source, is going to be about 31.2%, which is going to hurt you a lot. Now let's talk about another important criteria, which is repatriation. With an NRE account, you're the captain of the ship. You can freely transfer the balance and the interest earned back to your home country or anywhere in the world in any currency. It's like having a financial jetpack. But hold on, with the NRO account, you're not the captain anymore. There are limits and formalities that you'll have to deal with when it comes to transferring funds outside of India. Not quite as flexible. Lastly, let's chat about the structure of these accounts. Who can you share them with? Well, when it comes to an NRO account, you can have a joint account with the resident as the joint holder. But here's the catch. You, the NRI, are the primary holder. It's like saying, hey, you can join, but I'm in charge. To give you a technical term for the mode of holding, it's former or survivor basis. But when it comes to NRE accounts, you can have another non-resident as a joint holder. It's a bit more exclusive. Remember, it's not just about where you keep the money, it's also about understanding the rules for each type of account. So before moving ahead with the next point, here's a summary of whatever I've shared with you about the NRE and the NRO account. Number 2. How can you transfer money to an Indian account from abroad? Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of transferring your hard-earned money back to your Indian account from abroad. Trust me, it's not as complicated as it may sound. The easiest and the most common way to do this is through a wire transfer. Here's how you can make it happen. First things first, do you have your NRE and NRO account details handy? You need those because you're going to provide those details to your overseas bank. They need to know where's the money headed, right? Next, how much money are you looking to transfer and the mode of transfer. You decide the amount you want to send and you do it in your own currency. No need to worry about conversion rates just yet. Now let's talk details. What do you need to confirm? Double check everything. Your bank details, including the all-important IFSC code and SWIFT reference, should be spot on. Accuracy is the name of the game. The next step is to explain what's the purpose of this transfer. Depending on the circumstances, you may need to provide supporting documents. It's a way to show why you're moving your money around. And remember, there might be some charges or your taxes in your home country, so just be prepared for that. So you've got all the ducks in a row. What's next? Go ahead and submit that transaction. It's like pressing the send button on a heartfelt email. But one sec, where should you transfer your money? In an NRE or an NRO account? What do you think? Well, according to me, transferring into your NRE account is a smart move because there's no limit on the inward remittance. Plus, you'll get some tax benefits in India. Win-win. But hey, if you're tech savvy, many banks offer online transfer options. You can do the entire process from the comfort of your home. Or if you prefer the traditional route, you can always deposit a check drawn on your overseas bank account into your Indian bank account. Just remember, it might take slightly longer, like about 10 to 15 days. So whether you're clicking buttons from your couch or sending a check on a global journey, you've got options to bring your funds back home. Number 3, know the process of transfer of funds from NRE to NRO account. Alright, let's clear up some questions that might be buzzing in your head. You successfully transferred money from abroad into your NRE account. But now you're wondering, can you move that money around to other accounts like the NRO or the NRE or even the resident savings accounts? The good news is you've got some flexibility here. Your NRE account is maintained in Indian rupees. There are no tight ropes or hoops to jump when it comes to transferring funds. You've got options. So let's say you and your spouse both have separate NRE accounts and you're still both NRIs. Can you move money between those NRE accounts? Absolutely. If you and your spouse are still globe-trotting NRIs, you can easily transfer funds between your NRE accounts. Now, what if you need to pay bills, insurance premiums, or take care of expenses for your dependents from your NRO account? No problem. You can smoothly transfer funds from your NRE account directly to the resident savings account of your resident spouse or parents. It's like a financial lifeline for your loved ones. Remember, funds can be transferred from NRE to NRO accounts as well. But now you must be thinking about, is there a limit on the amount you can transfer, and what about taxes? There's no limit on the amount you can transfer. Neither you nor the receiver will be burdened with taxes because it's considered a gift. However, if you decide to invest the money in fixed deposits or the stock market, any interest on capital gains would be their responsibility when it comes to taxes. So you see, it's all about flexibility and making your money work for you and your loved ones. So yes, that's all we have to talk about today about how you can send your hard-earned money from abroad to India. Now in the second part of this video, we'll discuss in detail on how you can send money from India to abroad. What are the intricacies involved in that? But before that, I would like to summarize the important points of this video that we have discussed today. NRE and NRO accounts are maintained in Indian rupees. Interest earned in the NRE account is tax-free. On the other hand, in the NRO account, it is taxable. And along with that, the TDS is applicable in NRO account. NRE account is fully repatriable, but NRO account is not. You can easily transfer money from overseas account to NRE or NRO account. You must know the purpose of transfer. You can transfer money into resident account from NRE or NRO account. There's no limit on the amount of transfer, and the transfer is also not taxable. So yes, that was the gist of today's video. I hope you learned something new, and to see the next part of the video, do hit the subscribe button. Until next time.